Hey guys, coming at you today from Lake Ida Park. Wanted to go over two things for sobriety that I guarantee will work for you. They are one, a daily routine, and I want to show you how mine kind of went so you get an understanding. For those of you that don't know how to do a routine or where to start, at least you could see. I didn't either, but now I have a perfect one. And then journaling and why that's so beneficial for you. So, daily routine, I brought my journal here just in case, and I wanted to show you kind of how mine started about a year and a half ago. I wrote down because I didn't know what to do either, and when I would meditate and pray, a lot of things that came to me would be to start my daily routine. And in the beginning, I knew that I had no routine. It used to be wake up, go to work, and come back home, go to the gym, Netflix, go to sleep. It used to be every day until I would drink or go do something else, which was never good for my health. But a couple things that really work for me. It's beneficial for your mental health. It's beneficial for your sobriety because it keeps your mind from traveling into the negative, as well as it gets you on a structured plan so that your brain starts to rewire itself to get used to these type of plans. So want to give you my idea of when mine really started back in, 7/23 of 2023. So here's what it looks like, just to give you an idea. It's just a journal of, didn't know what I was doing, wanted to start something. So what I did was work/reflection. Reflection's huge as well. You have to reflect. Well, if it's not every day, it should be every other day or every third day, something like that. So at least you can understand where you're coming from, where you want to go. But the part about this also helps with journaling when you write down your routines. One, it gives your mental state some clarity of what you're doing throughout the day. Gives you something to look forward to, gives you something to focus on. It also, every time you check something off the list, no matter how small it is, I don't care if it's making your bed, taking a shower, you checking it off in the beginning, it's giving your brain a hit of dopamine to help rewire itself. But I just want to give you what 7/23 2023 looked like. Then maybe a day or two here and there to give you an idea of how it progresses into a better version of yourself. So the first day, all I literally did was journal, 6 to 7:30 a.m. This is when I quit my job. That's why I started this. Is when I quit my job, I had to focus on my specific recovery from everything, including food, and how I was going to benefit not only myself but then relay this message to others. So it started with one journal, 6 to 7:30, which I did some journaling. 8 to 10 a.m. workout, gym/sauna. Gave myself a lot of leniency there. I didn't want to rush into anything. 10 to 11, shower/self-reflection plus meditation. 11 to 12, clean apartment, walk my dog. His name was Chase. 12 to 12:30, pick up Mark, my buddy, for golf. 12:30 to 1:15, prep for golf. 1:20 to 7:30, golf and unwind. So part of unwinding was the fact that I wanted to be able to get home, relax. Maybe I think I showered that day. Who knows? I don't know. 7:30 to 10, read/listen to Gaia and walk Chase. And then 10 to 5, 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. I even wrote. I'm looking back at this. Sleep, meditate, 5 a.m. wake up. So kind of went like that for a while. I checked some days. Look, if you look here, some days, I just want to show this so at least you see what like a routine looked like for me. I wrote, be mindful of what you eat on 7/25. Some of the days I didn't check everything off, but that's okay. It was starting a routine because then I got more into stuff. Like if you could see here, I started listening to audiobooks. Well, I tried to that day. It didn't work. But there were things that I wrote that I wanted to do. Reflect on not being an impulsive person. Journal how you will treat the love of your life. Dinner with Graham and Kyle. Read self-help notes, things like that. So they started to do that. Then I started doing, because I started a process of that, I started doing reflections. The reflections would be either about something I read throughout the day, which would be, I read about clear communication, expressing my trust issues, things along those lines. And what I started to notice was the daily reflections for me became more of spiritual guidelines that I wanted to follow, and the routines began to become better and better, because then if I look a little bit later on here, and I want to make sure at least I give you a good one that really shows kind of how I got into more. I kept doing a lot of the same similar things, but a lot of things that I started to do would be like what my days turned into around so that was July, August, would be I would start to turn into things like I woke up, I would go to the gym, do the sauna, then cryotherapy. Then I would go home, I would meditate. Then I would do a little bit of reading. I would listen to Sadhguru, who's a teacher that I used to listen to, a yogi teacher. I would do the walks with the dog. I did some fasting. One of the things here, if you look at it, literally says be happy. Be happy. I crossed that off my list because I was happy throughout the whole day. It's right there. Be happy. But these are some of the things. Be positive and think of good things and love yourself. So these are the things that I started to do and check them off the list. If you look, I literally check them off the list. Be happy. Love yourself, things like that. So that I started to retrain my brain to remember these things. Then it really turned into a lot of meditation and positivity and love. This is where I really got into, I started doing positive thought processes. It took me almost a month to get into a lot of positivity. But I wanted to show you that just starting the routine becomes so beneficial in your mental health, your physical health, the relationships you have, because the routine gets your brain rewiring itself to get out of that old energy pattern, that old thought process. So for me, now my days consist of gym, sauna, a meeting, yoga, meditation, the beach, eating healthy, seeing my girlfriend, and doing positive things for others. I brought in some meetings to halfway houses the other day. I like going to meetings and sharing. I chair some now, but they're becoming more and more of the actual version of me that I wanted it to be, that I want to be, that God wants me to be for others. And I got out of my own way a lot. A lot of my suffering came from, all of it came from myself, of suffering with the version of me that I was, that I knew I could be better. So you can eliminate a lot of that suffering by starting a routine and just sticking to it. I promise you, stick to that. You will see a change in yourself pretty quick, and then you'll actually like creating this new routine. Second thing was journaling. Journaling is so important because what it does, and this just happened in my rehab the other day, that I was helping someone. He noticed that he literally came up to me and said, "Thank you for getting me to start journaling." Because when I first did it, I was looking at my pen the second day. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? And then the second day, I'm like, oh, okay, journaling, the reason that it helps is you can see, rather than your mind just continuing to run and have no idea what's happening, you can visually see your thought process. And what you could start to see is like, maybe I think worse in the morning when I wake up. Maybe I think terrible in the afternoon. Maybe I have negative moments at nighttime. So you could start to train yourself that that's coming, and you're aware that it's coming. The awareness is huge for that. But going back to that story of the rehab, he literally said to me, he was telling others at the rehab to do it because he never thought of the idea before. It's been brought up all the time, and a lot of us don't even want to do it. That's the thing. But he said, "Thank you so much for making me do it." I couldn't even read my first couple pages when I started because my brain and my thoughts were all over the place. But now I can read where they're going, what I'm actually thinking about throughout the day. They're so much more positive, and you can, rather than just guessing, you can visually see yourself on the page getting better and better with your thought process, which leads to better and better people, better and better things. So journaling is so important because the other thing it does, it tracks your progress and helps you remember things. Like, I'm going to give you an example of my grandmom that really got me to help journaling. I was up there back in Philly a couple months ago and we were playing Scrabble, and she said to me, I went back through my journal, she called it her diary, but I went back through my diary and I read that I forgot all about this. I went to Europe when I was young and stayed there for like 2 months with a bunch of friends and went through all these hostels and had this great time, and I forgot all the things that I did. It reminds you where you came from and how much you've grown and the experiences you had, and it's your life experience. You're writing your story as you're going through it, so your future self can go, look how far we've come. You can do all of this. It is extremely beneficial for you. Trust me on all of it. I am recovered because of the fact that I decided to make these changes. I decided to be more healthy. I decided to be more self-aware of what I was doing, live more consciously, live more lovingly, live more compassionately, not only for others, but for myself, for the love of what I want to do in this world. I want to help others. A lot of you, that's really what this all boils down to. We all want to help one another. Some way, somehow, we want to relieve suffering, and I've relieved my suffering, and I'm grateful for that. Pain will always be a part of life. Suffering does not have to be. You could start changing it today. Start doing one thing today, which would be start a small daily routine and start some journaling and watch your life start to change as you go day by day by day. Love all you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Like, share, comment on some of these things. Let's start getting some dialogue going.